So some of you may or may not know, AOC had been taking shots at a lot of other politicians, particularly Ted Cruz, about her fearing so much for her life, feeling that she was going to be murdered. Though that's because, again, cool, fascism, all these insurrection, all these buzz terms that they use to describe people kicking their feet up at Nancy Pelosi's desk. And as more information came out about that entire situation, you really see that she was talking out of her ass. But that's what she specializes in, okay? She specializes in dramatization, and she is Twitter in human form, Instagram in human form, and she's a representative of my generation. I will concede that. Dramatic ass people who love to cry foul and dramatize events, right? Demanding that people resign because they were going to have her murdered. And then more information came out about the whole thing. When you try to piece together her story, which is good, of course, the media didn't do that. They just take a word for everything. And, oh, my God, look at her and how she felt, the traumatic experience that she had. And people didn't connect the dots. Like, well, wait a minute. I mean, it wasn't until after the fact. Of course, the media didn't do that. They just reported it as was. And then we found out, wait a minute. Your office was not even in the same fucking building that they were in. So what are you talking about? And as reported by Representative Nancy Mace, AOC made clear she didn't know who was at her door. Breathless attempts by media to fan fictitious news flames are dangerous. My office is two doors down. Insurrectionists never stormed our hallway. Egregious doesn't even begin to cover it. Is there nothing the mainstream media won't politicize? I think it's more than this, that. It's social media. I mean, this is how she became a cultural phenomenon, doing shit like this. She was, as we call it down south, high-siding. That's what she was doing. She was high-siding. Fronting. Some people say that. Now, what did happen was, and I believe she even ended up having to concede it, I guess when she realized she got caught, that there was a Capitol policeman, and they were there, and they did end up evacuating the building. But they were in a completely different building that the insurrectionists were at. Now, again, that's what the truth says. Obviously, they weren't there, and you got even her colleagues are like, dude, what the fuck? Nothing even happened over here. What are you talking about? You fearing for your eyes in the bathroom and all this other dumb shit. The problem is that you're not who she's trying to convince. It's those stupid people on Twitter. It's those stupid people on Instagram that she's saying these things to. It's the stupid people that when she's on Twitch, conversing with. They're going to believe everything that she says. She claps back on Twitter. She's representative of definitely those young folk, representative of her generation. You see, this is why I always say that this is a battle of culture, right? And say what you will. We might think, and I do, I think she's a ditzy Looney Tune, right? But none of that matters when it comes to her influence. This is where libertarians lose. This is where conservatives lose, and why AOC wins. She doesn't have to have the ideas on her side. She doesn't need to have them on her side. It's not necessary. It's a purely emotional position that she has. And she's trying to convince other people that lead with emotion. So she dramatizes the events. They believe it. They repeat everything it was that she said. The media that fond, I mean, I think we can all kind of concede. I don't even care what side of the political aisle that you're on. That definitely in the mainstream, there's no such thing as an actual journalist anymore. At best, they're with the local news stations, but definitely at the main, the more broader, the guys that work for the big companies, the ABCs, NBCs, the fucking CNNs, all of those. These fools ain't done journalism like in a very long time. You even seeing this with how they handle Biden versus how they handled Trump, and even the questions that they ask. They're like different. These are not rational people that you're dealing with. You need to realize that, because then you'll learn how to navigate. I told y'all when AOC won, I was like, don't write her off. And these people, these conservatives, these libertarians, will sit here and be like, well, nobody cares. She's never be in control of anything. She's stupid. And I'm like, dude, you cannot sit up here and treat AOC and people that were generally listening to her like they are you. You may think you're an irrational person, and you may be somewhat rational, and that there's some sort of like logic to or reason to your position. Those are not the people that you're dealing with, though. Their influence doesn't come from that. If they wouldn't have the position that arguably they have if they did get there by way of reason. This is why I said don't write her off. And now you did, and well, now she's a cultural icon. She ain't going fucking nowhere. She continues to get more and more powerful as these weirdo milquetoast ass conservatives sit up here and neglect culture. AOC says, my people my age and younger, they do things like be on Twitch. How about I go there and take that motherfucker over? Meanwhile, conservatives sit there like, ooh, why are the young people coming out as socialists? What the fuck's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's because you fucking neglect culture, man. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe it's because you neglect that shit. Should have long been paying attention to that woman. She's a liar. We know that. It's not even important. You're not dealing with rational people, guys. You're not. You cannot reason a person out of a position by way, if they got to that position by way of emotion. And this is why having the best ideas on your side, having the best ideas, being the smartest person in the room ain't good enough when you're dealing with these types of people. Not good enough. Only get you so far. Now, the few of those leftists that got to there, which ain't that many of them, not even statistically significant as far as I'm concerned, of like leftists that got to their position by way of like stringing together some sort of reason. But, good luck with those. But for the most part, that's not who you're dealing with. Y'all need to stop writing AOC off. None of this even matters. This isn't even going to be a drop in nothing's going to happen to her. She may get made fun of and shit. It's not going to change anything. She knows she can get away with it, as ditzy as she is, because she's not appealing to people that are reasonable people.